Yo, people, lateness is greatness. We just had to compose ourselves there while Tuchel spoke just to get that final bit of information from
What a man.
Live. What a man. What a man. And
What
Sam, bro, Sam, welcome, man. Fresh off the preview gang into the review gang this season. How are you doing, man? If I talk too much, I'm going to be in big trouble. So let's just get your take on that incident from the beginning, man. What do you make of it?
Bro, you know what it is? We would have won that game if we had 11 men. That's one thing. That's what really annoyed me in that situation. Then another thing is the fact that even though he had a really good game after this, I think Alonso had a rush of blood. Yeah. Mendy calls for the ball and he should have just trusted in his keeper because his keeper's been so good and just let him gather it. If Mendy makes a mistake, then he will hold his hand up 100%. Yeah. But to head it and then let Fabinho head it off the ball. And then there was also that little Havertz was sleeping a little bit. Havertz was sleeping a little bit for Mane to get in. And bro, you cannot tell me if the ball is being struck from 5 yards in front of you, Mane toe-blowed it, bro. It hit off it hit off James's thigh and then it hits onto his arm. And then as a natural reaction of a human being, he's stepping forward. So he's not going to do that without arms. Let's be honest. He's not going to do that without arms.
What do they want them to do? They want to put their hands behind their back, maybe sellotape it behind his back or something? I don't know.
It was madness, bro. And then and then you go to the screen to look at the screen. Everyone's thinking, okay, cool. He's gonna watch through it like normal referees do, at least see it from different angles. And man looked at a freeze frame. He looked at a freeze frame and then he just made his decision from that. Like, come on, man. Like Anthony Taylor, I don't want to say too much about him because I want to be professional and I want to maintain my job in the footballing world, yeah. However, that is a man that if I see him on a dark road, bro, if I buck that man,
it's a problem, bro.
It's a problem because he needs to stop reffing our games because he something will happen. Something will happen to man after one of these games because it's too much now, bro. Someone even put a tweet out of all the decisions that he's had against us, and it's not like little decisions, bro. It's always in big games. It's always decision like one of those big decisions in the game that will change the tide of it. Yeah, and it's just always him. I can't see him reffing our games no more, man.
Every time. I think the Batshuayi when Maguire kicked him, was that him or someone kicked him? Isn't it in that game? Was he there for the choke slam for Aspilicueta as well in the box, or was that someone else? I can't remember.
No, but he was the game against Spurs where if VAR wasn't there that time when he literally that Gazzaniga guy he took out Alonso and basically clotheslined him. If he wasn't there, he wouldn't have gave that. And then that also the Kovacic when he got sent off against Arsenal when it wasn't sending like off at all, bro. He is
the definition of a fugazi in this refereeing game. Like for me personally, when I'm watching it back, the only reason why I'm able to compose myself for this review, and if you saw my Instagram video, I tried to make light heart of the situation and play it off as something funny because I don't want to be angry everywhere. Like, because I'm already angry here on Watch Along. I'm going to be angry a bit in this review. I don't want to be angry on all platforms. So on Twitter, I just put out a tweet congratulating the team for the performance, the fact that they was able to put in a masterclass in the second half with 10 men at probably the most difficult away ground in the league. And they've come out fighting. Bro. Yeah, man. And they've come out fighting. They've managed to come out and collect the points, collect a point out of it when really they have no divine right to get anything out of this game.
Honestly, I accepted that we was gonna lose that game.
Yeah,
because going into half time, I felt like the players, bro. If another player got sent off, I can't lie, I wouldn't have been that. Like I would have been upset, but I understood the frustration because we got shagged. We actually got shagged, and then they gave Mendy a yellow card for trying to kick the ball away. None of those Liverpool players wanted it. None of them wanted to. They tried to do that little half-hearted run over to the keeper. They didn't want it with Mendy. Then Lukaku stepped in. None of them wanted it. So they should not try and run that ever again. But fam, when they came out, I was like, okay, cool. If Liverpool kind of start the game the way they did, then it could get on top in it because the reality is Liverpool at Anfield with the fans behind them, the fact that they're going to have an extra man, they have a very balanced squad right now as well. So I would have been upset, but I would have accepted a loss in those circumstances. But the boys, they said nah.
I said in this review, I'm gonna give the boys the airtime that they deserve, man. Because at halftime of my watch along, I said this game's a wrap. We're gonna lose. Like you said, Liverpool coming out, blocks flying at Anfield in the first few minutes. In the second half, they had a few shots popping off. I said this is gonna be a long day. And we probably gonna lose this game, and it is what it is. And if we do lose, that is to be expected because at the end of the day, we got our backs against the wall at the most difficult ground in Europe, as you said. And what else do you expect? The game already with 11 men versus 11 is a very difficult game to navigate, and we navigated it so well. But bro, to get through 45 minutes. And really not have our backs against the wall, as we said just backstage before we came on here. We actually, at times, were in the game. We created some half-decent opportunities with Mateo Kovacic running in behind, taking on that shot. But obviously, he's never the guy you want, especially on his weaker foot. No chance. Lukaku was isolated for the whole second half up against Matip and Van Dijk. Poor guy, didn't get a touch.
But even when he was, even him being isolated, like I was even gonna say, like we can literally go through every player on that pitch. Like, and fair enough, first half or even in the second half, a few of the players like Jorginho and Alonso had moments where I was questioning them, their ability under pressure, because we knew that Liverpool were gonna be onto them. I think Kovacic slotted in really well. I think Thiago Silva slotted in really well. But to go back to Lukaku, he really. Like all of this holding up stuff, like when he's talking about it in interviews, you can see that he's worked on it because he was going up against the best centre back in the league. He was going up against Matip that hasn't lost at Anfield. They haven't lost together. And to be fair, he lost out on the battle a few times, but he didn't stop going. There was a few chances where there was a few times in the game where the ball came down to him. He was literally isolated. He held it up for like a long period of time before someone came and joined him in the attack, and we almost scored from a few of them in the second half. So yeah, man, hats off to him, man. I think he even though he didn't score, he did what he needed to do. There's no one else in our team that would have done that, and he kind of gave us the opportunity to breathe at times. We needed to breathe at times, and at the beginning of the second half, we were struggling to breathe. There was a moment where the centre backs were literally just clearing it. It was just coming back onto us. Mount misplaced a few passes, and it was literally an onslaught. But when we started getting into it and realized that them being on us, they're not really troubling us like that. Like it was like waves of nothing. Yeah, like it was just waves of nothing. They had 24 shots on goal. I think half of them or majority of them were outside of the box. Mendy did well to just stay awake for a lot of those opportunities. But yeah, man, I think we were that second half we were quality, bro.
On Lukaku, I think if any rival fans are trying to force slander today, that just tells me that they're actually worried, because when you see it, man. They're forcing it, you're forcing it. And if you are actually trying to run it today, banter aside, that just shows me that you're actually scared, because he's not a talking point today. But if you're going to force him into the topic, that tells me that you're actually worried about him, because you know that if you get a red card, and Kai, who had a great first half, he gets a fantastic goal. I lost my shit when he scored. It was a brilliant header, and I was so gassed to see what he could do in the second half of Lukaku kicking on. But again, when you lose your strike partner and then you're playing a back five and then 3 men in midfield because Kante has to come off. I'm not sure what happened to Kante. I was quite surprised to see him come off for the second half.
Mane does that stuff where he like when he loses the ball, he just falls on you. He done it in the second half as well. So I can't remember who it was. And he fell on his ankle. I knew that he wouldn't be able to come out second half. Obviously, Kante is a soldier, so he'll firm it. But when they go and check him, it's not worth playing another 45 where he's going to have to do a lot more running because we're a man down. Kovacic is literally a perfect replacement, and he was the perfect replacement in terms of ball retention under pressure. Like I think that's one of the biggest things for our team. Like we've got so many good footballers, bro. Like and they rise to the challenge every single time. Like the goal that we conceded, that I think that's the only type of goal we're ever going to concede this season. It's like if we have a rush of blood or we make a mistake, because the way we play and the way Tuchel's got our team playing is we're such a a good machine right now. Like it's so beautiful. Like even when players come out, like James came out, Aspie went right wing back, even Jorginho coming out in the last 5 and Trevor going into the middle.
Yeah,
it was just beautiful, bro. Like it was just like, yeah, like I don't have any worries like I used to. Like now I feel like everyone understands the assignment. They understand how we want to play. They understood how we were playing in that game, and we were basically playing for the draw and playing on the counter attack, and everyone was just on it. Like they were just on it, bro.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think I seen Trevor come on. I didn't have any worries either, because we know he's played holding midfield for Lorient last season in League 1. You know, when Kante came out, I was a bit worried, because if you're down to 10 men, the one guy that you want is Kante, because he's like 2 men. So that's exactly what you would hope for. But again, like you said, if he's carrying a little knock, you don't want to risk it. There's no point, you know, making the situation even worse. Of course, he's got the international break as well coming up. But for me, man, just everybody just they stood the test of time. Do you know what I mean? Because that second half, that's a long half to get through. That's a very long half to get through when you're down to 10 men against Liverpool. And I'm actually quite shocked and surprised with Liverpool that they didn't continue that second half pressure at the start, where they had a lot of shots. They peppered a goal. Van Dijk took a shot. A few others as well took a few shots, and they never really kicked on from there. It's like they almost ran out of ideas.
They don't have it in them, bro. And that's what's even annoying, because if we had 11 men, we would have beat them 100%. Because even in the first half, they said obviously the Anfield hype, all of this stuff, first 10 minutes, they're going to be on to you. Klopp is clapping on the sideline, But as soon as they've done their pattern of play, give it to Salah out wide, he tries to beat Alonso, doesn't work out. And then he does it again, doesn't work out. I think the brightest spark in their team was probably Harvey Elliott. He was really the one that was trying to get things going. But once they realize that they can't break us down, because it's very hard to do that, they'll just stale. They will pass it from side to side, and then they'll be hoping something breaks down in our team, which it wouldn't happen because we're just too good. And then that's what happened in the second half. That's why I was watching that second half, and I was just kissing my teeth so much. It's just like these men are literally like Liverpool. Like, fair enough, they've got Van Dijk back there. Fabinho can go back into the midfield. They've got Salah, Firmino, Mane.
Imagine what we could have done in the second half with 11 men. Confident. Do you know what I mean? We could have bopped it about. We could have maybe gone so many times in the second half.
Even 1-1, even if it was 1-1 going into second half, I would have believed we would have won that game regardless. Yeah, because we even though we've got a style of play, there's so many different ways for us to score, and I don't think Liverpool could hack that. When Mount and Havertz were slipping into those pockets in the first half, they were struggling to pick them up. Like, and then Lukaku running the line as well. They were all focused on Lukaku, but these times Havertz and Mount were just running them ragged. Like, it's just getting annoyed again. Don't want to get annoyed. But it's definitely a good draw, man.
I can see there's a lot of frustrated Chelsea fans in the chat, because although we got the point, and the point is, by the way, the point before the match is a very good result. To come to Anfield 100%. And to get a point on a normal day is a good result. To get it under these circumstances is an incredible result. Klopp's obviously talking to Sky Sports now. I have no idea what his opinion is on the decision that was made, but it's going to be very interesting to see what his thoughts are when I check that out later. And I'm going to be watching Match Today. I'm going to be going through everybody's analysis of this incident to see if they're on their P's and Q's. But to pick up a point in this situation with 10 men at Anfield as well for a whole half, that is incredibly impressive. And it just goes to show that we're Premier League contenders, because this team's mentality and their resilience and their tenacity is on another level, bro. Since Tuchel's come in, you can just see it in these big games. They're on another level.
It's the resilience, bro. That's what it's like the way we are as fans. Like, I remember us doing previews of like last season, and we were talking about us trying to get used to being Chelsea again. Do you know what I mean? And going into games expecting to win, and going into games thinking, okay, cool, doesn't matter if it's a big game or at Anfield, we're gonna win the game. But now it's like you can actually see in the team, like, especially from that the Champions League and from the Super Cup, you can actually see like this team genuinely believe that this is the start of something special. And no matter what happens, and even with Lukaku coming in, when Lukaku went to back Mendy, bro, at the end of the first half, you know what I was thinking, bro? Yes, that's my striker. Do you know what I mean? Like, fam, don't try and step to man because he tried to kick the ball away and think that you're on anything Henderson. man that gets subbed off while an 80-year-old is still put on the pitch, man. You ain't no guy. Have you got a hand over the captain armband and that? Like, we're actually we're that team again. Everyone hates us. Everyone hates us, bro. People want us to lose. People hate us more than they hate Liverpool, bro. If you're seeing the timeline right now, everyone was buzzing when Reece James got sent off. They were all laughing at us, not knowing that it don't matter. It don't matter because the team, we can go down to 9 men. We're not Arsenal and them, man, that go down to 10 men and then we succumb
get 5-0.
Get 5-0 now, bro. Where our team has got a system and everyone in the team believe in it. And we had moments where we could have won it. Like, we actually could have won it. Like, and this was their game to win. They were supposed to come out in the second half and say, if we don't win this game, then we've made a mistake. Like, we've done something wrong. And that's why I genuinely think that we're higher favorites than Liverpool, because they run out of ideas, and it's just you're looking at them and thinking there's no one on their bench that can come into this game and switch it up. If we had 11 men, we've got CH. We've got Pooley, that obviously he couldn't play this game. We've got Werner, bro. We've got man that can come off the bench and change the game. Like, so yeah, man. I'm very happy with the way the team performed, and also players like Jorginho, who didn't start the game well at all. I think there was a lot of the way Liverpool plays, kind of, it doesn't work in his favor in terms of how fast they press you. They don't really give you space to think of your pass. Do you know what I mean? And he's not the strongest midfielder. So if they barge him or one player like put something into him, he's not necessarily going to be the guy that's going to be able to withstand that. That's why I think Kovacic complemented him quite well in the second half. But he even like grew into it. There was in the second half when we kind of started getting on the ball, Jorginho was playing a little bit more. Him and Kovacic were playing together a bit more, and it was like, that spirit of just keep on going, even if it's not going in your favor, even if you've made a mistake, you keep on going, you keep working at it. And I feel like because we were wrongfully like done over in that first half at the end, I feel like the team spirit in the second half was just like, we need to come out here and prove that you ain't gonna decide the game. We're gonna decide the game. Do you know what I mean? You're not gonna come here on some mad decision making and send off one of our players wrongfully, in my opinion. Penalty, again, I'm always ready to take some sort of L when Anthony Taylor's on the pitch, because this brother's an absolute fugazi of a referee. But to send him off as well is just a shocking decision, in my opinion. It's too much. You're doing too much. But this team they're there to show, listen, you can come and try and run this game, but we're going to run this game for you. Do you know what I mean? If you can't run it, we'll run it for you. And people in the comments, I can see King here with the message. This is why I've left it up. King Misogyny. He says, stop it, man. 1 point against the washed Liverpool team isn't good enough. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know where you're living, but you need to come back down to earth, because if you're telling me that just because of last season where Liverpool had 4 or 5 injuries in their centre-back positions, 2 passings in personal issues with Klopp and Alisson that affected them mentally, if you're trying to tell me that you're basing that season and telling me that Liverpool are washed, to tell me that Liverpool are coming towards the end of their cycle, fair enough, because you can see a lot of players are in their late 20s, early 30s. They're going to have to turn the team over at some point. I think most Liverpool fans will agree with that. They're going to have to get some new forwards in, etc. But if you're telling me that they're washed and that a point at Anfield with 10 men for the whole second half is not a good result, you're smoking something mad. You're lost. You're lost. But even against the worst of Liverpool sides, like going to Anfield with a full stadium is not easy for any team, regardless. Like, the fact that they actually who was missing? Who was missing in their squad?
Nobody was missing, and Robertson was back at left back. That's the strongest front, and they brought Jota on anyway, so we saw Jota. They had their selection in midfield. They had their fullbacks. Their chance creation was there. They had their centre-back partnership. Everybody was fit. Everybody's there. So to be telling me that Liverpool away, like, are you trying to tell? I don't understand where that brother's coming from. With 10 men, are you trying to say that was not a good result with 10 men for half of the game at Anfield? I don't know what you're on. I really don't know what you're on if you don't believe that was a good result for us. I really don't understand. Maybe, I don't know what universe you're living in, but you need to. You're disrespecting Liverpool far too much. Liverpool are title contenders, in my opinion. So I don't know where that's coming from. I really don't know where that's coming from. He backs it up to keep saying Van Dijk had a career-ending injury. He's washed. Mane had his worst season of his career, and Firmino is a bum. I'm not gonna read out any more of what you're saying because you've lost the plot. Honest to God, you're on crack.
That still just doesn't make sense though. Like he had a career-ending injury, but he came back from it.
Yeah,
Mane had a full preseason. Firmino came off. Firmino came off in the first half. Jota came on. They literally had their full squad, bro. Squadded. Yep. They were ready. So I'm not hearing that Liverpool weren't at the races today. They had their team. They're just lucky that we didn't have 11 men because we would have disciplined them in it. Like,
yeah, Dami, you're there's something wrong with your sound there. We're getting playback from you. I don't know if what's going on there with your audio. Just every time I put you in, I'm hearing what we're saying back. So I don't know. I'll put you back in about 2 seconds. But Pycraft says defensive masterclass on how to defend with 10 men. Would have been thrilled if we had 3 points, but not as proud for this 1 point. You should be proud of the team, in my opinion. If you're angry with the referee, that's cool. But if you're not proud of the team, I really don't know. I don't know what fighting resilience and grit. So it seems like he is. Goals win you games, but a great defense wins you titles. 100%. I don't think anybody.
He might have misworded that because I don't know if he.
Yeah,
I think he gets it. He gets.
I think he does. Yeah. If you're using words like fight, malice, and grit, I'm assuming that you definitely get it. Like you definitely get the performance. 100%. All right, Dami's all good to go there, audio wise. Let me swap him and put him at the top, bro. Talk to me, man. How are you feeling, man? Because we spoke on the phone at halftime briefly, but shit.
For starters, like I did, I'm going to structure this quick introduction like I did my video. Tuchel, absolutely phenomenal. Rudiger, phenomenal. Mendy, phenomenal. Christensen champagning that back line. Kovacic came in constructing the midfield to a high level as well. We had that game in control form. Don't get it twisted. Liverpool were the ones that were taking the shots and everything in the second half. But Chelsea had that game in control with 10 men. Remind you, that game was 10 versus 13. Do you know where I'm coming from? Had 11 Liverpool players on the pitch. The fans were absolutely phenomenal from their end. And they had Anthony Taylor. The only excuse, I'll get to Taylor in a second. But bro, this Chelsea team, I've got to give them so many credits. You know, coming so many credits. They came through despite a very controversial take from the referee of the game. They managed to get that goal very early on. They kept that defensive structure very tight and compact. We limited Liverpool to just taking shots from outside the box. That's not what their game is about. Their game is about getting those little crosses in and around the box and trying to get it in. But we kept them silent. This guy, Rudiger, had Salah in his back pocket for most of that second half as well. Bro, it was a good defensive performance. And what is what that tell you? I told you if we took a point away from this game, I'd be over the moon. And I am.
Yeah.
However, oh my God, Anthony Taylor here. This is not Love Island, bro. You don't need to be the center of attention. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I keep saying this. A professional referee here knows that. You see, if I start talking about the referee, about drawing a game, all right? If you're a talking point from a game, you have done your job wrong. You're not supposed to be a talking point. People did not pay thousands of pounds to fly in from all over the globe to watch you make decisions like that. You're probably being very salty about it. Go and read the rules. The rules clearly state if the ball bounces off another body part and it hits the arm, that is not a red card. Penalty, fair enough. It
has to be a deliberate handball, and it wasn't deliberate.
And even if it was deliberate, this guy didn't even watch the footage
properly. Exactly. You didn't even watch it.
See, Sam Matisse, it's called VAR, Video Assistant Referee, not VAR, not Picture Assistant Referee. It's a video. Watch the team. It's not a picture. This man saw one frame. One clap frame. I said that's end. Bro.
Crazy.
I fully can't be bothered. Honest to God. This for me, I feel like we could have beaten this Liverpool team. On God.
Yeah, same.
On God.
We'll butt them at the bridge, man. We'll butt them at the bridge.
100% we could have beat them. I just think he's lucky that this game was not the third to last game of the season and that happened, because now if we're in a title race between Liverpool, Man City and United and it's all tight at the top as I expect it to be, and this happens, fam, I'm breaking chairs, TVs, the whole lot. It's all kicking off. It could have been mad. the fact that this is just a game at the early part of the season that is not season defining, is also thankful for us, because if it was, then I don't know what would happen. Marvel says Barca blew a 3-0 lead to this team. Good draw away, incredible. Yeah, man, 100%. I think Liverpool are getting massively disrespected. Maybe because they didn't have a great performance today, but overall, to say that this Liverpool team is not a problem, I don't really know.
Down to us. That's down to us, though.
Come down to us, exactly.
Like, this Liverpool team are going to beat a lot of teams this season, bro.
Exactly.
They're literally
100%.
coming up against Chelsea. Like, and I'm not even trying to like overhype us, but the reality is, if you watch that game, you can actually see how difficult it is to break us down because of them. The fact we don't give teams the spaces in behind or spaces at all to play around us. Like the way we set up when we're not on the ball is beautiful, bro. Like the way even when Kovacic was in the second half, but in the first half, the way the spaces between Kante and Jorginho, the way Mount and Havertz drop in, the way Lukaku drops in to be that first line of defense. It's very difficult. That's why Alonso, like we used to, like we in the previews that we used to say, oh, why is he starting? But now I genuinely don't mind. He's come up against one of the best, if not the best, wide man in the league, and he's done very well, bro. Salah was struggling in the first half. I think they had a few moments, but that's always going to happen. But he was resilient. He tried to get out to him. He kept on him, and he wasn't giving him that much room. And then Rudiger was joining in. Jorginho, when he was on that side, when Kante was on that side, they were joining in to help defend. It's very difficult to break us down. So that's not Liverpool being not being like good in a sense. That's us just being better. Like
people, exactly. We need to get more credit for when we actually shut big teams up instead of the big team's just not playing well. Well, why are they not playing well? Probably because of us. Because it's happening every time, right?
This is what I was saying, because people, this is what they love to do. When Chelsea play well, the other team was bad. When Chelsea defend, or the other team was good. You know, I don't know why we literally, there was no space for Liverpool anywhere. Genuinely, there wasn't. When I said Salah was in Rudiger's back pocket, he genuinely was. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be bantery. He genuinely had no space whatsoever. Rudiger had him on lock. He had him on lock. That midfield was so compact as well. There was no space in between the lines nowhere. Like you said, Lukaku was literally dropping in. We had like two thick lines of defense. Liverpool were only left to shoot him from outside the box. That's what they did. That's what they were doing. They were not getting in between anything, nothing. So people need to realize that this was a defensive masterclass from Chelsea. I am tired of Liverpool fans saying, oh yeah, you know what, Salah didn't actually turn up. Nah. Yo,
he's nailed it. He's nailed the accent, fam. He's nailed it.
Our defensive masterclass, and I big up to Tuchel and those players because they were ready to die on that pitch, bro. Gave me a reminded me of Chelsea from 2005, 2006.
I was saying that during the game. I was saying I'm getting PTSD from Mourinho and Conte time where we had the backs against the walls, whatnot. Jester of the famous CFC says we have to work on our counter-attacking passing. Heads up, looking for the teammates. I'm not going to judge the counter-attack too much from that game, especially in the second half, because we didn't have many numbers. I mean,
however, that first half.
In the first half, yes.
First half, we could have killed off that game. It could have been 2-3. If that's like Lukaku had a few moments where he could have played, and that's the thing about it. Like, I'm not gonna be too harsh because everyone's getting used to everyone. First few games, you know what I mean, not knowing who the killers are and stuff. But if I'm through on goal, even if Havertz is on his right and Mount is on the left, not taking anything away from Mount, I'm passing it to Havertz because that guy is a killer and he's going to get it on target or he's going to score. And at the same time, Havertz had a few opportunities when I think from one of the opportunities, Lukaku passed it to Havertz, or no, someone passed it to Havertz, and there was a moment where he could have just quickly slotted it to Lukaku. If he was just thinking fast enough and just find him straight.
Well, it had to be a first-time pass, isn't it?
It had to be first time. Do you know what I mean? And I think that happened in the Arsenal game as well with James, where he didn't look up and just give it to him straight away. We've got a number 9 that just wants to be fed. Feed him. Just feed him. That's all needs to be done. I think Lukaku didn't really like passing wise in the first half. He going forward, he wasn't like as clinical as I'd want him to be. But at the same time, I'm not gonna crucify him for that, because he was still very good in it. But if I'm nitpicking, I think that we could have been 2-3 up before that penalty.
Definitely could have been 2 up. Definitely could have been 2 up, I think, 100%. Obviously, Alisson's in goals, so he's always going to be difficult to bypass him. I think we didn't really get enough clear-cut shots away, in my opinion, in that first half. We had a lot of moments, like you said, where final pass, maybe final decision-making, if it's a bit better, you get a clear-cut opportunity. There was a lot of scuffed shots and a lot of scuffed efforts because we couldn't quite carve out the opportunity. But we were still 1-0 up, and we were still, we were doing very well. I think the game, someone's saying, it was a good game here, too early at the moment. I think it was a good game in the first half. The second half, it wasn't a good game because of the red card. We knew what was going to happen in the second half. We knew it was going to be backs against the wall. Anytime we try to attack and get forward, it's just going to be counter, and we're not really going to have the numbers to make those counter attacks stick. So that's why I can't get onto the team for the second half counter, because the second half we didn't have any numbers, and I don't want to see numbers getting forward in the second half, because if you counter with numbers in the second half, the only time Liverpool caught us properly was that transition where we had numbers forward from a counter, and then they broke on us, and then that's when Liverpool are at their most dangerous, because they've got an overload and there's less players at the back, and we're out of our structure. So I didn't really want to see players too far forward. How far, Charlie? Big up. Sorry, I'm just going to run through these super chats, bro, and I'll bring you straight in, just so I don't lose them, because you know how StreamYard is. I'm not sure how far Charlie means, but big up for the super chat anyway. My bad, I meant super proud, absolutely buzzing. Within the top 4 every point is gold. Especially away. Yeah, I mean, for us, listen, we're competing for title this season, 100%. Top 4. I don't want to see no top 4 race this year for us. The Street CFC, big up for the super chat. Obviously, there's no words there, nothing to read out, but really appreciate it. Let me just scroll. Apologies if I can't get to everyone, but doing my best. Dami, take it away, bro. What was you gonna say?
Now, I was just going to say as well, before people misinterpret what you're saying, obviously, like, at the end of the day, offensively, you can't really expect too much from this Chelsea team, especially after what happened. You know, I'm coming from, like, when we both spoke on the phone, we were both convinced that Liverpool were going to palm us in. Do you know where I'm coming from? We were both convinced that, I thought I was preparing to just come on and start shouting about Anthony Taylor, but these guys came in and they held it down with teeth. They made one of the best attacking teams we have seen in the last decade look like a bunch of year 11s who are trying to play with some children, didn't it? These brothers were not on their P's and Q's, bro. Why is that? Because Chelsea were defensively sound. I'm not even going to look at attack in that second half. I saw some people getting onto Lukaku and telling me he was missing. I mean, you've got Virgil van Dijk and Matip blocking him off. That's not going to happen. He's not getting too much service because you need to concentrate on not shipping at the back.
He didn't get any service, bro.
He's not. You can't expect him to get service, is what I'm saying, isn't it? Do you know what I'm saying?
He didn't get none.
Fully expecting him to get service. None of that. These men had to do that defending, and they absolutely did it. So for me, this is 1 point, but it's a very solid 1 point. Context is very important in things like this, and this 1 point was something I was not expecting, because this Liverpool side, they could have. One man down, you're expecting this Liverpool side to put 3 or 4 goals past you. On God. God. And we prevented them from doing anything in the second half. If anything, I think we had the better performance in the second half. And in the grand scheme of things, genuinely, all things considered. So, we're at Anfield as well. Nah, man, that was a brilliant performance from Chelsea. Honest to God. Brilliant performance from me.
We had some breaking news confirmed as well with Zouma. Deal completed. Obviously, last few days there seems to be like a lot of hold up on that deal. Medical maybe having issues there, and so many different little factors. And West Ham obviously being stingy as always, trying to bring the price down and trying to potentially tamper with it and get him on a loan or whatever they wanted to do. But yeah, we managed to get that deal completed. Let me make one little slight adjustment to that banner. Zouma's gone to West Ham. That's official and confirmed. And I mean, Sam, what's your instant reaction? Obviously, we've kind of known for a while that Zouma would be heading out anyway, but how are you feeling? And just maybe looking back at his time at the club, and how do you feel about that move?
I've genuinely always loved Zouma, innit? I think he's one of those players that he's hard not to love. I think it was quite unfortunate to get that injury, his first like real injury, when he hyperextended his knee, and I think a lot of people can remember like how long it took him for him to get back to like in and around the squad. After that injury, he went out on a few loans, he came back, and then he literally stepped himself in the squad, and he's been here for a few. I feel like it feels like a few generations because he's come through us having the Diegos, the Choppers. Then we had that little purple patch for me. He wasn't really that great, but he was still around the squad. And then now we've got Tuchel, and it's just clear that he's not in Tuchel's plans. But it doesn't mean that you never really saw a Zouma like, oh, Zuma's not happy, or him stop smiling. Every time he came onto that pitch, he gave his all. He always tried his best. Got a few goals for us. I remember there was a time, I think it was last year or the year before, he scored the most from set pieces, or he scored the most goals that we had from set pieces, or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's just like it's sad to see him go, but I genuinely want the best for him in it. Even though he's going to a London team, I genuinely want to just see him like do well. Want to see him prevail, because I know what it took for him to come back from that injury and those injuries that he's had, and hopefully, like, he just does well, man. I've got no bad words to say about him. I think he's a legend, and I think he will. When he is mentioned in any Chelsea chat, a lot of the Chelsea fans will have everything, no bad words to say about him.
Yeah, he's a character we're gonna miss as well, because he is what his middle name suggests. He is happy. Do you know what I mean? Anytime you see like any banter behind the scenes, which is important, I keep making it real life for people, because sometimes they think obviously the player needs to be good first and foremost. You don't purchase anybody for vibes, but if they're a good player and then they bring that feel good factor as well, that's important. I liken it to when you go to work. If you work in an office, if you've got that best friend in there, and someone that's constantly keeping your mood up and they busting jokes, and every single day you're looking forward to see them at work, it makes the work a lot easier. And that's something that Zouma brings into this dressing room. You only have to look at Hakim Ziyech, the relationship that he has with him, and just the way that he generally moves around the place. Any video he's usually a part of, he's a great guy to have around the camp. And of course, he is a very good defender. I think before I bring Dami in, so many times the last few months, people have been starting to disrespect him a lot and say, listen, I think because he doesn't suit our system and style, doesn't mean that he's not a good defender. It just means that for a progressive team like us that want to play out from the back and want to split lines with the passing and want to be composed in tight spaces, he's not the guy. But that doesn't mean he's not a good defender. You put him in a back four on a team that maybe have less possession and physically they need to be more dominant, lower, a little bit lower in the league, like a West Ham, where you got a very dominant centre back that wins his duels in the air, in the box. He wins his corners. He's great at recovering as well. He made a massive tackle on Benteke in the Palace game that I'll never forget as well. So he's a very good defender, man, and I'm going to miss him. Obviously, someone's saying he was massive in the 14-15 season. And obviously, he's leaving with a Premier League and a Champions League medal around his neck. So I wish him, like I said, just same as you, Sam, I wish him well, man. Top character, top player. And that means potentially Jules Koundé should be over the line. But Dami, what do you feel, bro?
I mean, you and Sam have already said everything I could possibly say. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can only wish him the best. Do you know what I mean? I can only wish him the best. There's no bad blood between Zouma, the Chelsea fans, I'm coming from, especially not from me as well. Do you know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate he got that knee injury all those years ago. If not, I feel like he'd be more incorporated into this Chelsea team. But
100%.
like every good thing in life, you've got to move on eventually. And that's just what's happening with Zouma right now. Obviously, Jules Koundé is available on the market, and we have to sort of make space. I feel like we've got Trevor Chalobah in the ranks as well. He's a very solid young defender. You've got Aspilicueta still there, Thiago Silva, and you're not trying to get Koundé in, but just having to move on. So it's just one of those things. I wish him all the best at West Ham. I'm sure it's going to be very good for them as well. So let's just see how things unfold. But like you guys rightfully said, whenever you bring up Happy Zouma in any Chelsea conversation moving forward, people will definitely have only good things to say about him as far as I'm concerned.
For someone saying that the valuation is off in the chat, that's what Fabrizio tweeted. So that's that's not me. That's Fabrizio that's tweeted that. He said 30 million euros. I believe it was around that. I don't think the valuation
is around that. It's like 25 mil.
25
million pounds. So that is like 30
million euros. Yeah.
So it's around that price, and you're not going to get the exact. You're going to get the exact figure with the add-ons and stuff like that. But I think that's genuinely a good price for Zouma. I think, how many years has he got left on his contract? How many years did he have left on his contract?
He's obviously got more years than Rudiger, Christensen, Aspilicueta, because obviously they're all running out. He was never mentioned in that boat, but he definitely, go on.
I think it's good, and like Dami said, I think it's smart for us to sell players in his mold. Like, especially when you win a Champions League, you want to kind of refresh your squad. Doesn't mean the players that are going out are bad, or that they wouldn't play in the team, or they wouldn't get on the bench, because a lot of them would. A lot of the players that we've even sold this summer, you could say that they, if we weren't playing this system, or we wanted to play other systems, like, they would make sense. But at the same time, if you want to challenge for the biggest trophies in the world, you're gonna have to keep on recycling these players and just freshen it up a little bit. We've still got a core squad that everyone's used to, but bringing in a Koundé doesn't mean that he's going to automatically start. I don't think he's going to come into the squad and think he's going to automatically start, but he's going to add to that competition. He's going to bring a different dynamic to our defense, because he's shorter, but he's very good on the ball. He's very fast. He's going to add a completely different dynamic to what Zouma does. So I think it's a good, like, the whole transfer around Zouma and Koundé is really good. Like, I'm actually quite happy that we've got that done.
In general play, it's a more attacking defender to have on the pitch. If you're going to play a back three, a lot of people will consider that to be already quite reserved and defensive as it is. So you want those centre backs in that back three to be as progressive as possible with their passing, or when they move forward into those spaces into midfield, when they can push forward like a Rudiger does on the left-hand side, to be as good technically and have the understanding in that role as much as possible. You know, Thiago Silva's range of passing, Christensen's range of passing. If you're going to play three at the back, I've always believed you need 3 ball-playing centre-backs if you're going to be a top team. Not 2, not 1, you get 3. Because you're sacrificing a midfielder. And you can bypass the midfield in build-up play. You don't have to go through that midfield. The midfield can just act as a shield. You can fizz it straight into Kai, straight into Mount, and get us turning and get us moving if you've got the ability to do so. So I think it's always important in this system to make sure the centre backs are of top level. And it's not really surprising, I guess, with Koundé, because we've got contracts running out. Rudiger, Christensen, I think, is almost done as well, but Azpilicueta is not sorted yet as well. So they're kind of not just this season, but preparing for next season and the season beyond with a young defender coming in. Obviously, we sold Mark Gurhey, sold Tomori, so we kind of had to replace that profile of defender as well in terms of the age. So yeah, it's not really too surprising. I mean, Dami, how do you feel about Koundé being that guy coming in? Do you think that's what this team needs? Are you happy with that one overall?
Oh, 100%. It's an injection of some fresh youth into the squad. I mean, it's not like there are so many positives with this. Like, so basically, you've got one of the best young defenders in the world. You know, I'm coming from. You're not going to have to fight other top teams for him next summer. You're also replacing the likes of Mark Gurhey and Fikayo Tomori, who are in and around the same age category as well. And then you've also got a defender that brings in a completely different dynamic that is also potentially ready to start for this Chelsea team week in, week out, if he requires so. Like you've both rightfully said, Koundé is the sort of defender, although he's a bit on the shorter side, he can progress the ball a bit quicker. That's one thing that I've always loved about Thiago Silva. Whenever you've got him in that back line, the sort of defender to pass the ball, and it just goes straight past the midfield into the feet of the attackers. That is something that Koundé can do as well. His passing range is quite magnificent for a centre-back of his age, and it's only going to keep on improving. So this profile of centre-back, especially considering how many we've sold up, was something that we definitely needed this year, and I feel like it will be a big addition to this squad moving forward. So I'm not even going to complain in the slightest. And like you rightfully said, because Zouma, 2 more years on his contract, 30 million euros to West Ham, I don't think that's a bad deal. I genuinely do, especially when you consider the fact that Koundé himself is going to be signing for about 50 to 55 million euros. So you look how much you sold Tomori for, look how much you sold Gurhey for. I'm not really going to complain about this one. We did need a new centre-back, and he sort of ticked every single box you could potentially ask for in a defender of his age. So yeah, it's a positive signing.
Matt Laws tweeted saying that he understands West Ham have paid 29.8 million for Kurt Zouma, and that's pounds. So yeah, there's different figures rolling about. Like Sam said, you're never going to really know exactly what the figure is. If you believe Fabrizio, then it's 30 million euros. If you believe Matt Law, who's probably a lot closer to the situation, then it's 29.8 million, which makes it.
Fabrizio, since Fabrizio is like Italian and all that, Euro could have been a mistake. It could have been a mistake. You know?
Could have, yeah, he could have. No, it's true. It's true. It's funny, but it's actually true. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll just add the extra. I'll just add the extra piece of information, and then you guys can decide who you want to believe in that one. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're not the accountants here, we're not the club. At the end of the day,
it's still a good business. Any fee it is good business. I'm coming from. I can't complain. 30 million euros, 29 million, 29.5
25. It's good. Like, you know what I mean? It's good. You can't really take that away from Marina.
Especially when they know we're looking to sell as well. We can always end up getting ripped off a lot more when a club knows we're about to sell. So it's a difficult situation with that as well. I think in terms of offloads this season, we've obviously offloaded a lot of players. There's still more to get out the door as well. But this, for me, I always said when Zouma was sold, that means I'd be shocked. Make sure, mods, guys, you're not deleting rival fan comments. Just nothing that's, as long as it's not disrespectful and rude, leave it. Please. It feels like
some rival fans be saying some mad stuff in here.
Mad opinions. Yeah, we're not deleting mad opinions. We're just deleting any rudeness. I feel like the mods are just like, they're like, yo, I'm done with this nonsense, fam. You might have chat and breeze in the chat. Official, yeah. So like I said, Matt Law's tweet is at the bottom of your screen as well of what he said. And like I said, regardless of what it is, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we've got the fee. And I think my personal opinion was always as long as we get Zouma sold, which was always the concern because the medical and West Ham are always moving mad, then I think Koundé comes in. So I'd be very shocked now if they don't agree for Koundé. I think Koundé seems to be a top target for Tuchel, someone that he's desperate to bring in. So yeah, it is what it is. But let's see. I mean, what else has gone on today? Did you guys see who got man the match in the end? Someone said in the chat that Christensen. It was fantastic.
It was fun. It was good, but I found that a bit shocking. I can't lie. I found it a bit shocking. My man was really good at it. Christensen was he was great. Christensen was great. You know, Rudiger had. I feel like, there's this one fly, bro. There's this one fly that I'm gonna have to. There's this one fly that I need to grab in it. It's disrupting me, and I almost took my camera off to just deal with it, but it keeps on going out of. If you just see my turn off my camera, just know that we're going to war. But I was gonna say, Christensen. I mean, Rudiger had more moments because Salah was on his side, and he made a few more mistakes. But Christensen's game was clean, bro. Christensen was clean throughout the whole game. When the ball was in his area, he won it. When he needed to chase down a player, when Mane was trying to do that little jump thing that he does and then try to get past him, no, wasn't working out. He was good in the air. I think he came out with the ball quite well as well. I think our whole back line was quality. I think when Aspie went out to right wing back, he was quality. When he was in centre back, he was good as well. It could have been any of them. Bro, I'm not because I'm losing, bro. I'm losing. It's still here somewhere on my days. Oh, I know that was. I fully knew that was. Oh, did you get it as well? Oh my days! This thing is moving.
Fam, I had the same issue last night.
Is it a fly as well? It's like
small, or is it a moth?
Oh,
fam. I had the same issue last night. I was in here. Saj is scared of like flies and moths and insects. So whenever this happens, he just starts crying and running away. I had to come in here and I got a towel and I just started whipping shit. I was just whipping everything. Fam.
You know, off. Them ones you just tie your feet.
In it, you know what I mean? I don't know how my mom, if she was here, man, she does take one newspaper and she does do it one time.
They're too quick, man.
I don't know how they do it, yo.
Bro,
she literally comes with a newspaper. And I'm like, oh.
Someone said catching flies with chopsticks, fam. You're crazy. There's no way. There's no way.
No, I'm not that elite still. This thing is still alive.
Oh, hey, man, can I become a mod? You can, obviously, just as much as long as really I only make people mods as soon as I see them regularly on the channel, because I don't want to just have 100 mods for no reason, because I need to be making sure that the mods are actually doing what they should be doing as well. So next time I look for mods, I'll definitely consider you. Right now I'm not looking for any mods. I've got a lot of mods and I'm gonna have to get rid of a few as well that haven't been active. So I'm just trying to make sure that the mods I have are actually mods that are here. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to just have names on YouTube listed for no reason. So I'm just looking at it at the moment. But yeah, I mean,
it's your head, your mind. Fam, Sam, do
What?
you hear that as well?
Yeah,
There's
it
some
comes in and out.
Fam,
does it come in? Yeah, people keep saying that. All right, I'm gonna change it.
Bro, it's so mad. Like, because I'm using studio headphones and I'm just like, hey, yo. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I don't know why it happens. For some reason, people keep saying that to me. It keeps coming in and out.
It's the Blue Yeti, innit? It's the Blue Yeti. I don't know what it is. My
Do you think
mic,
it's just because I've had it for a while? Do you think it's because Blue Yeti's a good mic? Yeah, I've had it for a while.
But they've got issues. That's what happened to my mic at the start. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit mad still. It's a bit
I'll change the mic next stream. I've got another mic in there, so I'll just change it. But I mean, Christensen, a lot of people were saying, where's Thiago Silva? You guys are happy with Christensen to be starting in that team, isn't it? What did you have any issues with the starting 11 before it came out? Obviously the second half is what it is, but first half you didn't have any issues?
No.
I can't lie to you. For me, like, I didn't have issues in it because then again, a lot of people felt we're shouting for Chilwell. I shouted for him as well, but then again, this guy hasn't really played any football.
We need to stop shouting for Chilwell, man.
That's
Honestly,
he hasn't played any. That's what I was saying. Isn't it? He hasn't played any football. He's not. We haven't seen him in a long time.
We haven't seen him.
And I feel like people just see Marcus Alonso and are just like, hey, yo, this guy might drop his stinker today, because today he did quite a decent job, all things considered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he had literally the deadliest combo. One of the deadliest combos on his wing. Them two, Trevor and what's his name? Trent.
Trevor.
Sorry, my bad. Trent and Salah. They can spin anybody. Do you know where I'm coming from? So obviously, like Alonso, all things considered, and Rudiger as well, they were quite supreme. So I think other than that one potential thing, everything else was fine. But then, guys, if I'll let my teeth keep controlling it because I need to talk about this midfield thing, and I'm worried.
Wait, hip on who?
The midfield situation. I'm worried. We've been talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, talk your talk.
What are you worried about?
I'm worried because, like, see, Kante is down again. You see what I mean? We need.
And he was down just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You know, I tweeted this. I said this.
We'll grab someone.
But the thing is, but Sam, this is Chelsea. Innit? How are we going to see? I'd back us here, but who can we pattern of high enough quality within the next 2 days? Maybe we might bring up a shock Chouameni or a shock something, whatever. But then it's so close. And I keep telling people, this Chelsea team, today defensively, they showed me that they can stick it out. They did show me that. But if you don't go out there and get a midfielder, that might be, and I'm not saying it will cause it, that might be the only reason why we don't push and actually win that Premier League title.
I don't know.
If two of them Jorginho, who's had an excellent injury record over his career, has only been injured for 7 days in his entire career. This guy was holding his leg at the part of this game. Kante is off now. Kovacic can sometimes get injuries as well. Trevor obviously stepped into midfield today, but then do you want to see that for 7-8 games? Maybe you might stick it in, but I don't know, man. I don't think it'd be a bad idea to get a midfielder. It would make. I think a
midfielder. I think a midfielder and Kunde is what we're going for right now. But if we don't. Don't forget, Mount can drop in. We've got Trevor.
I don't like Mount down there, you know.
Yeah. We've got Trevor.
Mount down there, you know.
We've got Loftus Cheek that's still in and around the squad. We've got Ampadu that's still in the squad. Like, we're talking about players that, like, fair enough, they might not be of the caliber or even of the level that we're used to, yeah. But if we're talking a few games where they might have to partner with, let's say, a Kovacic or Jorginho, I'm not going to be mad at that. I'm not going to think that it's going to be the end of the world as well. Like, I think Saul or Tachumena, I've been struggling to say his name, man.
I've just got it. It's Chouameni, so there's no T.
Chouameni. So Chouameni or Saul, I think we're going to get one of them in it. But if we don't, it's not the end of the world. I don't think it's the end of the world. With the amount of midfielders that we have and the fact that we haven't forced Ampadu or Loftus-Cheek out, I think that they've got that in the back of their mind that if we don't get a midfielder, then their men are going to have to do a job. If Kante gets a long-term injury, if Kovacic gets a long-term injury, I don't think that will be the case because I think that Tuchel is going to keep on rotating it just so we don't see a long-term injury. Like now, for example, I don't think Kante is going to play the next few games potentially, and there's nothing wrong with that. We might see Trevor. We've seen him play 5 minutes in CM. I genuinely think that he could play CM for our team and he would do a job.
he can do a job, but then again, I'm talking with regards to confidence. Maybe this is me being a bit selfish.
No, I do agree with you. Confidence,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I would be much better with another
Hmm.
midfielder.
Exactly, because Sam is mentioning that. With no disrespect to these players, let's bring up some of these names. Loftus-Cheek. This guy, I'm not really banking on Loftus-Cheek in the pivot. I've never seen it before. I don't think that's his game style.
He hasn't done it since the youth. Apart from the youth, he's been playing further forward.
One player, and Fulham, he wasn't really so great at Fulham. I know the game style was a bit different, and I don't even feel like he slots into midfield. That's one player. Fair enough, maybe he could do it, but that's to the side. Ampadu, Sam, I can give you an experiment here. If you ask that comment section what position he plays, you're going to get 50% centre back and 50% GM. Nobody knows where he plays. And this guy is still a young. I would have been more confident that, even though it's a bit selfish from my end, to have Billy Gilmore in this squad. Honestly speaking, it's
Someone
selfish
just said that, yeah.
Because you know coming from. I mean, I'm happy he's gone out on loan, but now I would have been more confident at what we currently do have in it. Do you know where I'm coming from? So it's just a bit mad. So I don't know, you know. I mean, Matisse. I mean, what are you saying? Because you seem to be agreeing with what I'm saying in it.
I need that fourth midfielder for my confidence in it, because for me, if we don't get it, then Trevor's the first choice to back it up because he's played there last season. Ampadu hasn't played midfield outside of Wales for a while. In Sheffield United, he was mostly in the back three. For Leipzig, he played back three against Tottenham. Yes, he's played DM for Wales, but he's not in the form that tells me that he should be in this team this season. I think he should get that loan and play good, a good amount of games and have a good loan. He hasn't had a good loan yet. So I'd be a bit worried if he was the guy to slot in there. I think he's very talented, but I don't think that's an upgrade on Gilmore, who we've just loaned out. So we're worsening our midfield if we don't bring in someone, in my opinion. For me, profile-wise, I'd love Tchouaméni. I think Tchouaméni's the perfect guy. Do you know what I mean? He can play both the roles that we're looking at. If Kante goes out and you need that energy going forward, he's got it. If you need him to hold and sit, he's got it. The age profile makes sense as well with who we've got currently available to us with the Kovas and the Jorginhos and the Kantes. If not, I'll take Saul Niguez as well. He's not the profile I was thinking of, but at the end of the day, he's coming from a very resilient, well-drilled. I don't know what's going on with that deal. It doesn't seem like it's happening.
His salary is too high.
His salary is high, yeah.
One of the force us to buy him. Chelsea were never going to meet those demands. So it's never going to happen.
I mean, look, if we don't get one, it's not the end of the world. I still believe we can compete. However, it's just a little bit like, I don't know. It's not, there's that X factor that's a little bit missing. Do you know what I mean? Because if we do pick up an injury, it's
the only place that's a bit shallow. Defense fully stacked. Keeping situation, I mean, that's different. And then attack is fully stacked as well. Just that midfield position. Like, once again, don't get it twisted. They are this midfield, they all stay fit. They can win anything. But if one of them gets injured or two of them Jorginho and Kante were both touching leg this game in one game within 60 minutes. I'm just saying, innit?
Yeah.
They are pushing 30. What am I saying? They are 30. What am I saying pushing 30? These men are old, innit? So I'm not saying, and what's the one statistic I keep using for you on this channel and my channel and everywhere else? Kante, 2 years ago, he played in about 90% of Chelsea's games. Next season, you come down. That number dropped off to like 49 or 48 or whatever. It's coming down year on year, bro. It's coming down year on year. And why is that? Because of the kind of player he is.
But I don't think we're going to sign Tchouaméni because it just doesn't feel like a deal that can be done at the end of a window. I know they got knocked out of the Champions League, but if we were going to get him, I would have assumed we would have bid by now. Because if the Saul Niguez deal is off, like a lot of people are saying, because of a little miscommunication or understanding in terms of option to buy obligation, we don't know which one, and they want something and we're not going to give it to them, then, and the wages, like you mentioned, then why are we not bidding for Tchouaméni? We know Petr Cech rates him highly. I think he was one of the guys that really went for him. I don't know, maybe Tuchel, I don't know. But it's one of them things where, I don't know, man, we just look a little bit light there. So I'm a little bit worried. But the only thing I will say is when you've got a coach like Tuchel, don't be surprised if he turns water into wine. Like, because right now, you would say Ampadu is water. Do you know what I mean? Right now, he's got potential, but he needs to be turned into something. He's not in form. He hasn't had the greatest of loan. He needs that extra kick. Maybe Tuchel can give him that. Do you know what I mean? Loftus-Cheek, again, I think he played pivot in the youth. So maybe I'm underestimating what he can do defensively, but I feel like that's not his natural role. It's not his natural fit to be a defensive midfielder. He's more of a box-to-box or a guy that in the last few loans has operated in the final third. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting. I mean, in the dream scenario, Sam, what would you do? Would you bring someone in or no?
Yeah, no, I would. But if I'm not fussed either way, like because I feel like Koundé is going to be announced soon. And then after that, if you're saying that we've had a window of getting Lukaku and Koundé and we've sold the players that we have, I'm not going to be too fussed. Let's see how the next few months go. Because remember, January is still also around the corner. If it does get peak, and I don't think it will get that peak where we're thinking we've got no midfielders, we don't know how we're going to go into, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I think we'll be fine. But if something mad does happen, then I think we could look for someone in January. But I'm not seeing that Tchouaméni done too much of a minute. Who's that Zouma?
I don't know what that is, bro. What is it?
It's Zouma in France, isn't it? Damn.
Zouma in the West Ham kit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. It's gonna be weird. I'm not gonna lie, because Zuma's my guy, but we move, man. We move. All good things have to come to an end. But yeah, now I don't think Saul's completely done. I think that could potentially happen. Tchouaméni, I think it might be too late. I think that might be a January one if we're still looking for a CM, if we don't sign a CM this window. But yeah, I do see Ampadu and Loftus-Cheek getting a bit more game time. It depends, man. It depends.
The only worry I have is, that Club World Cup Christmas period, that is when it's going to get peak. And this squad is going to be stretched out like a madness. So that's the time where I'm like, yo, we're going to really see how deep this squad is come that time. And hopefully by then, if we don't sign someone, Ampadu, Trevor, they've had some appearances. Trevor's already shown what he can do in the back three. And I believe in midfield, he'll be able to hold it down. Ampadu, obviously, probably get some cup games as well. I think that's why they've been kind of reluctant to let Ampadu or Loftus-Cheek go. I think he's going to go with more numbers because he's maybe not sure. Like, if you were sure, you wouldn't keep all these guys. But because you're not sure on what they're going to give you, you keep your Ampadu, you keep Loftus-Cheek, and maybe you have too many players, but you also have a little bit of security if they don't work out. But anyway, go on.
No, I was going to say this fly's taunting me, lads. I swear to you, I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose it,
bro. I know how you're feeling, man. I can't even do you know, yeah? A bit of a sidetrack. Obviously, Matisse rang me during the game, innit? And Matisse, I was at the pub, yeah? I got like them sort of southern fried chicken burgers and shit. Coming from, I had like bacon and whatever. Do you know what it is? Yeah, I put that thing on the table, yeah? And one of the bacon pieces fell off. Bro, bees. There were like 10 bees munching on my bacon, fam. 10 bees. Fam, I didn't even know bees eat pork. What's happening? I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. I said, it's insects today, yeah. You might not moving, man, bro. I thought you were on the halal thing. You lot don't even know, bro. Carnivorous little pricks, man. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. Oh, my Lord, bro. Nah, I hear you for the insects, man. I hear you for the insects. Absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing.
Oh, my days.
Oh, my days.
I saw Dami in the private chat there. I'm going to read it out. Why not? Because listen, there's only one way to end the show, and that is when Jody Morris comes onto Twitter and does a madness and shakes the whole platform with his opinion. And you know what? If he never was assistant manager at Chelsea, I think the opinion would slide more. But because he's been here, and obviously it didn't end great, I think now Chelsea Twitter are getting onto it. So let's read out the tweet. Jody Morris tweeted at 6:30, he decided to step into the cauldron that is twitter.com. And this is what he said. I personally think Liverpool passed the ball better than us. Pressed us really well, high up the pitch, created more chances with more possession. And I actually think our goal was lucky. Looping header that wasn't meant. That's why I disagreed with Neville on perfect half shout.
Do you know what is with that tweet? I saw that tweet, and if I see, let's remove Jody Morris from the picture. All right, let's just assume it was a random person. Is that person correct? To an extent, you could say some of the things they said were fair criticism, but Jody Morris, I mean, once again, he's a free man. He's a human being. He's allowed to do what he's got to do. Freedom of speech is a thing, but bro, what happened prior? I feel like tweeting that was always going to garner the reaction that it has. I mean, what do you man think? Because I find that to be a wild tweet, all things considered.
He's a football man, innit? So the reality is he's gonna look at the game completely different to the way all the fans look at it. However, the reality is because of the situation that he was under and the situation he is in right now and what happened to him, there will always be that sense of is he bitter? Is he upset that we're literally we're in a time on the ascendancy and he's not still at the club? Like, do you know what I mean? And whatever he says now, if it's not completely positive, like anything that he says, he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, Jody, why are you hating all of this stuff? But I'm not gonna look at it and think that like he's a hater. But I can see why it will garner some attention because
Sam, have you seen the comments?
Bro, the quote, they are cooking. They are cooking.
Are they finishing him?
They are cooking.
Bro, Sam, let me read this one.
Bro, they are cooking rice. They are cooking rice at high temperatures.
Sam, let me just put a disclaimer. See, this is not me. I'm reading off tweets just so that people don't feel like, because I don't associate myself with any of this. Man, them are saying you're sacked, you midget. Do you know where I'm coming from? People, somebody literally just replied with the date that this man got fired. Somebody said, go sleep. Job center opens up at 8 a.m. tomorrow. You don't want to be late. Man, them are putting all sorts of clown emojis. Somebody are saying that this guy got banned for drink driving 4 years ago.
But also, some people are saying that there's some sarcasm. I don't know.
Bro,
so that is a sarcastic tweet. Like that. But being sarcastic on Twitter is a very difficult thing to do because most people are not going to read that. Let me hit up some of these super chats as well.
He needs to.
Someone said you need to wear a mosquito net, Sam.
bro, it's not even one of those. Bro, it's not even one of those like, big flies, bro. It's not a big fly, and that's what's pissing me off because I will try and get it, and I can't get it, and it'll be gone for like 5 minutes, and then it'll just pop up. That's why normally I can just firm it because I'll catch them.
Yeah,
I don't know where it is now. I don't know where it is now, bro. And I'm actually quite annoyed about this.
Quite triggered. MDT says Cover didn't play in box in two before Chelsea. He was at 8-10. Okay, Loftus-Cheek can.
He wasn't being sarcastic.
Okay, so
he tweeted after that.
Yeah, I don't think he has been sarcastic. Yeah, it looks like that follow-up tweet. But so Cover did play a bit further forward for Inter Milan. He got some goals as well. So I agree with you there. And you say Loftus-Cheek, obviously he did. I think Loftus-Cheek, the last time he did, he played that in the youth, and now it's a long time ago. So to say that he can do it, let me see it in the Premier League before I say he can, because you need to remember our team right now, as has been said so many times on this show, defensively, the structure of that midfield is on point. So anybody who's not on point, you're going to be able to see it very clearly immediately. If you're even 10 yards away from where you should be, that's a pass entry into the spaces in between the defense and the midfield, and they're in. So if you're not on point in that midfield when we don't have the ball, you're going to get found out immediately. And do I think Loftus-Cheek has got the positional awareness that the other guys do working under Tuchel for so long? It's not possible, in my opinion, that he can, because he hasn't played that role since the youth. And the youth level, Chelsea dominate. So they don't have to defend on the same level that we would have to defend in latter stages of Champions League, etc. And in a game like this, you're talking about youth level where Chelsea are by far and away the most dominant team at youth level. Whoever's playing that double pivot is just on the ball, ticking, and just moving. And he's probably given the license to go forward. The person next to him will sit. So I don't think the comparison can be quite the same. So that's why I'm saying I need to see it in first team football before I can give him that title of, you can play in the pivot, especially when every single manager at this level has played him further forward. Sarri played him in the 3, allowed him to be box to box, and he got goals. He linked up with Hazard nicely. Conte tried to make him into a second striker, and Fulham had him playing in the front 4 last season as well. So he's not really been, and Crystal Palace, he played left wing. So it's not like the first team managers are seeing that pivot about him. So it's a big difference at first team level to youth level for Chelsea in that position. CFC Alex saying Taylor made the right decision to give a pen and a red. I think that's a very unpopular opinion that you're throwing out there. I look forward to discussing that with you on the byline. I'm sure you've left a voice note if Alex is requested to speak on that topic, because I couldn't disagree with you more, Alex. I'm not going to get into that situation again because we spoke about that earlier in the stream, but that's a very unpopular opinion, I must say. Very unpopular opinion, especially amongst Chelsea fans, but it is what it is. Let me see what else is being saying. Yeah, I think when it comes to Jody at this point, it's just like, I can't be asked, innit? He's not at the club anymore. So I just leave it, innit? I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it.
Feel like
no, he is not. No, but he is a Chelsea fan though. Like, let's not.
Yeah, he is.
And he will, and
but he does act a bit reckless on socials, innit? So it's like, I don't know.
I mean, you know what is Matisse? I mean, we could call it reckless, but I don't feel like this is a man that. Because do you know one thing I've never been a fan of, right? If you know, people should be. I mean, I want to believe that people are aware of their presentation and what people think of them on social media and in their immediate surroundings. All things considered, being sarcastic, because like I said at the start, his opinion, I feel like it was.
It can't be sarcasm. No, I don't see.
No, it's not about sarcasm. I'm saying that my thing is, I agree with what he said, but the truth is, we all know how things went down while he was at Chelsea as a manager. You can't be tweeting stuff. I mean, you can, but you will get cooked. You will get cooked. It's expected. I'm expecting that. Do you know what I'm saying? This is like literally, this is the equivalent of me. Everybody knows I've got an agenda against Ziyech. If I come on and I start praising Ziyech, people are going to be like, hey, you're rapist search. Because they're like, what are you doing? Do you know where I'm coming from? I know my position in the fan base. I know my position.
Yeah, you censor that R word, because if you get me demonetized, I'm coming to you for the check. So you better behave yourself.
Man said demonetizing, and I'm demonetizing this part in, bro. But now, like I said, it's one of them situations where he should. I don't know, man. You're expecting
something from Jody Morris that Jody Morris does not give two shits about. And I tell you right now, Jody Morris does not care about being cooked on the TL, and especially because when he was employed by Chelsea had to get him to delete a few of his tweets, and even then he was still trying to tweet. So now that he's not employed, this man is talking whatever he wants to talk. He does not give two shiny shits about being quoted on Twitter.com. You have to remember, to a lot of these people in the public eye that are established and that have already made it, and he has made it because he's done great at academy level. He played for Chelsea. He was assistant manager. He's going to get another job at some point. These brothers don't care about Twitter. They don't rate Twitter. So many people in this industry and football industry, you talk to them about Twitter, garbage platform. Very few people in the industry actually use or like or have any sort of respect for Twitter. It's very few. So the last thing Jody's thinking of is of what Twitter is doing right now. He does not care. He's probably put it out, muted it, kept it moving. One thing I will say, just on this Tchouaméni situation as well, is don't forget Tchouaméni has the same agent as Jules Koundé. So the line is there, the direct phone number is there. It's very clear. If you needed to have a talk, the conversation is very clear. It's not difficult. But yeah, we're gonna wrap up anyway before any more tweets resurface or something happens. I don't know. Sam, bro, let them know. It's been a while since you've been on here, so let them know about the channel, man. It's good to have you back. It's good to see you again and chat to you again football wise. Let them know, bro, about the content coming up, whatever you got cooking.
My channel is Sam O on YouTube. Go check that out if you haven't subscribed already. I'm probably I was doing a footy agenda last season. I think this season I'm gonna jump on lives. Don't know when. Might be after the international break, but I'm gonna jump on because I think I just enjoy them a bit more. But I'm gonna need the man there minute because I like our community in it. But then so we'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm gonna jump on. I've got a Twitch as well. I haven't been active on it for a few months, but I'm gonna jump back on that as well. I think after the international break. So yeah, shout me on socials, Sam Obaseki _Sam Obaseki on everything. And yeah, you'll see me.
Yeah, man. Listen, shout me if you ever want to do a stream on Twitch as well, because I've got Twitch as well. I just launched it a few months ago. And I'm trying to upload on there quite frequently. Every couple of days something's going up at least, and we've got a watch along coming tomorrow for Formula One, the Grand Prix for Belgium, so I'm going to be watching that as well. So yeah, definitely show Sam some love there. The YouTube's in the comments, Dami's reviews in the comments as well. He's going to talk about that, so make sure you guys go and subscribe. And in terms of streams tomorrow, I'm not sure yet. I'll give you an update on that after Dami. But it's a goal, says penalty, ball hits James' thigh onto top of his arm. The ball pings away and his arm then moves forward under the ball. No reconnect pen, really. Listen, at this point, this discussion is not something I'm going to continue to partake in because otherwise I'm going to be in big trouble. I've spoken about it. I'll let you guys have your opinions. Big up to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. I've spoken about it enough. I'm going to have to speak about it so much anyway on different shows. So I'm giving it a rest now with this topic. Dami, let them know where to find you, bro. And obviously the review, let them know.
Yes, people. Do you know what I'm saying? Check out the Grand Dam on YouTube. Check out the channel and everything. Put out a match review for the game as well. Obviously, my apologies. I've been missing for 3 days. I went to the dentist. Oh, God, that was painful and expensive. Oh, my days, that was painful and expensive.
Lord have mercy.
I literally couldn't even speak for a few days, so that wasn't going to happen. But listen, I put out the match review on there. Be sure to check out the other socials. Follow me on Instagram, please leave it alone. Follow me on Instagram.
You caught on. You know Sam, I'm sure Sam agrees as well. Listen, IG, follow the IGs, fam.
Follow the IGs, man.
Bro, we need you to follow our IGs, bro. If you follow us on Twitter, that is lovely. And I am happy to say I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish on Twitter. But Instagram is where it is now.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, now you can tweet and get 1,000 likes. It's boring. I can't lie, it's boring now. It's boring. We can stay to the side. Let's do the 1,000 likes consistent on Insta, then we can talk. But in the room, sure check out the match review and stay tuned to the channel for more buzzing content.
Big up, people. Listen, 500 of you, smash up the likes, please, on God. Okay, please smash them up. The review streams are back. Like I said, whenever we can get Sam on board, if he's not busy, we get him in, hopefully, as well. And also Mayo and Anita as well. The Queen's speech will be returning as hopefully after the international break as well. So we really just, whoever can get in, we welcome them. And it's always brilliant to have these guys back on the stream. Sam, it's been an absolute pleasure, bro, to have you back.
Love.
Thank you so much, Dami, as well, for joining, bro, as well, after your review. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. Like I said, it was a chaotic game. I did the watch along. I sweated, I bleeded, and now, I bled. And now we're at the end. So, you know what I mean? In terms of tomorrow, I'm going to be watching the Formula 1 race at 12:30. So that's where my Twitch is going to be at. Then after that, I probably will stick out either a stream or a video. I can't confirm yet because I really don't know what I'm going to do. I might organize the guest for tomorrow, and we might talk about this game in a different way. Obviously, not straight after. Give me time to watch it back and get into the nuances and the details of what's gone on. But big up, guys. Make sure you subscribe as well if you're new. Kick me over to that 17,000 subs. And yeah, like I said, follow on the IG. I put out a video on Instagram reacting to the game in a little bit of more light-hearted way. Enjoy that. And I'll see you, man, in a bit. Peace, people. Much love.
Peace.